Hi, I'm Bill Barry. Welcome to our desert adventures. We're going to take a little different tack today. Kathy and I went to Maui about a week and a half ago, and while I was there, I noticed that an email I'd gotten from Jim Davis said aloha from Maui. So I sent him an email and asked him if we could meet for breakfast. Jim returned the email and he said, Bill, I really can't go to breakfast. I don't drive anymore, but I'd love to have you come over to the house. So he gave me the address and I drove over. Jim is one of the oldest living park rangers in the world today. He's 98 years old. He retired in 1987. And I thought I'd take a few minutes to kind of recap his career from his perspective. The other thing that was pretty remarkable is Jim is a World War II vet. He was a member of the Engineering Corps, and he drove a fire truck during World War II in Italy and France and Germany. So the guy's got something going on, I tell you that, and it was really fun to be able to spend some time with him. I hope you enjoy this little overview of Jim's career. 1954. Go back to there. Where did you start?
I started at Tomales Bay State Park with Charlie Maylard, and this park was being developed. It was not open to the public.
So you started in 1954 as a
State Park Ranger 1.
State Park Ranger 1 at Tomales Bay.
At Tomales Bay.
Wow. So I was 3.
And I started in 42, right out of high school at NPS as a fire guard.
So how old were you then?
18. So I wanted to be a ranger from 1930 on.
From 1930.
Tall, shiny boots, balloon pants.
Oh, yeah.
And the hat.
Oh, yeah.
And I liked that. And I don't know why I liked it. I can tell you this. 5 days a week, 9 months a year, for 12 years, I passed the Culver City, California Fire Department.
Yeah.
Whether it was on foot, on my bicycle, or by car, didn't make any difference. I passed it. I could care less about it. I wasn't interested in chasing fire. And what was my first job? Chasing fire.
Chasing fire. Yeah.
And when I went into the military, I started in the MP Corps, and I very quickly left it because they came looking for me overseas, looking for people with my abilities, which was wildland fire.
Oh.
Because they knew we were going to go to France well in advance of our going to France. And I was in Italy at that time. I started in North Africa, military police in Italy, transferred to engineers.
So 1954, Tomales Bay. How long were you there?
I was there about 2 years.
2 years.
As a Ranger 1. Jim Trainer was the superintendent. Jim came out, took a quick look, and said, "You've never worked in a state park." "No, I haven't." "Well, we're going to take care of that right now. We're going to transfer you to Taylor, where I lived in both sides of the duplex."
Ah.
Then I promoted to the assistant supervisor at San Mateo Coast Beaches. In 1957, January 1, I was a Ranger 2.
Okay.
And I was also the superintendent, using today's terms, of the Butte Forest State Park. And I was also the first and only, and I believe only, fire management officer for Big Basin, where I lived. And I went 2 days a week to San Mateo Coast, and I worked for Glenn Jackson up there. Was a Ranger 3. Once in a while I could get into the Butte. No. This went on about 3 months, and then they had to bring a new assistant supervisor into San Mateo Beaches. They brought Ben Reese, who was a delineator in District 6, to the Butte. and left me alone because I didn't do ranger work in Big Basin. My principal task initially was to understand the boundaries of the various parcels of Big Basin to make sure that there was no illicit logging going on. I had to know the back country of the park intimately because I was made the search coordinator. I guess the coordinator of the fuel break project around the heart of the Big Basin.
Wow.
And I built 7 miles of that fuel break. I was there until August 1st of 62.
1962.
5.5 years. Yeah, and I promoted to Ranger 3, was sent to build and open Handy Woods. It was just a piece of ground. When I went there was a Ranger 1 there holding it down.
How long were you there?
About 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah, we built the place, and I opened it on Memorial Day '63.
What year did you leave there?
68, and I went down quite unhappily, and this changed almost overnight because of the man I was working for, who was Westgator, to Hearst Castle.
Ah.
Um,
You didn't want to go to Hearst Castle?
I didn't want to go to Hearst Castle. I'm a tree person, but I totally enjoyed Wes. Wes is exactly the opposite of me, and we got along just famously and became friends, and he's gone now, and I'm awfully sad to see him go. And I remember something that he said to me. He said, "The biggest mistake we ever made was when we put recreation in our name." And I think he was right. In any event, I was at the castle until the 1st of November the following year, when I was sent to Ventura Beaches.
So you were only at Hearst Castle for how long?
14 months.
Not very long, yeah. And what was your role there?
Chief Ranger.
Chief Ranger of Hearst Castle.
Ranger 3.
Okay.
And I handled the ticket office, maintenance, grounds, and housekeeping. I had the operation, save for the guides.
Yeah. That was, so you left there in what, 69?
69. I went to Ventura Beaches. So I got shipped out as a Ranger 3.
So I had been working for Parks for one summer then as a lifeguard. 1969 is when I started.
Oh, I was the superintendent. I was there. Al Hibbs was my chief ranger. Dick Loki was my Ranger 1. I forget the other ranger. Lee Bergthold was my lifeguard supervisor. Okay. On July 1, 1970, they abolished or did away with the Ventura Beaches area and the Carpinteria area and created the Channel Coast area.
Right.
April 1, 71. I was transferred to the Four Rivers area as the chief ranger. There was a Ranger 2 that I had worked with as a Ranger 1 at San Luis Reservoir.
Okay.
And he took care of that thing, but I had McConnell, Turlock, okay. Caswell, okay. Fremont Ford, Ingram Creek, Orostimba Wayside, and the general ranger duties. I was there, let me see, about 8 months, and I promoted and transferred to Salton Sea. I had been told that the Salton Sea was the armpit of the state park system. I didn't find it so. I had John Van Camp, Ken Wilbur, and Andy Van Riller. And when Van Riller left and Van Camp left, I'm left with Wilbur and 2 PIs, I think.
Wow.
I was there a year and a half. 73, I left in August of 73 for Big Sur. I had the ability, it seems, to get things organized, let's put it that way. Even if it meant being a complete bastard. And the superintendent in District 4 wanted me in Big Sur, so he got me. And I put 5 years in Big Sur, 73 to 78, and I was transferred as chief ranger to Silverwood Lake.
Okay.
Where I spent 9 years and retired on the 30th day of December 1987.
Well, after our interview, I followed Jim downstairs to his office where he has a ton of great memorabilia from parks and World War II. It was great to get a look at those items, and I thought we'd kind of go over a few of them before we ended.
That is Mike Lynch's work. And the first one he gave me and the second one I bought. That is a picture of me on retirement day, and that's about the only picture I've got.
That's the day you retired.
Yep. Silverwood Lake.
At Silverwood Lake. And then this is...
Those are sea spray pins of which I am a charter member. That's the park I started in.
Which was Lassen.
Lassen Volcanic National Park.
That was the very first place you were a park ranger.
Yep. That was taken in Apple Valley. And that is Leo Carrillo's saddle. Do you remember Carrillo was one of our park commissioners?
Yes. Is this a picture of you here with this horse?
Yes, and that is Butte Lake. I was with NPS working on an outpost station.
This is a beauty.
That's a tabletop. Mike gave me that as the first presidential award.
Oh.
That's my fire truck.
That's your fire truck?
Yep.
That's the truck that you served on?
In 1 to 25 scale, yeah.
This was in World War II?
Yep.
And where was this?
Italy, France, and Germany.
And you drove this through Italy, France, and Germany?
Yep.
That's amazing.
I'm the only one of two of what I can learn in the way of survivors of the 9,000 of us that were sent overseas. I had a great time with Jim. He's always trying to learn about history, whether it's firefighting or the history of boats in the California State Park system, which he calls the State Park Navy. If any of you have pictures out there of boating operations in your time with state parks, I'd love to have a look at them, and if you could send me those pictures, it would be great. I told Jim I'd try to help him with the State Park Navy. With that, we'll probably head back to the desert for our next desert adventure.